I was shocked to discover that the impoverished student I had sponsored 8 years ago had now become a tech professional at our partner company. In John's hand was the pen I had given him. On his wrist, he still wore the digital watch I'd bought for him back then. The real reason he came back to the country this time was his hope that we could start fresh together. Back then, I had cruelly abandoned him because of the 19-year age gap between us. This time, he refused to give up no matter what on the surface. We were discussing work matters, but in reality, he wanted to know what my true feelings for him had been all these years. This put me in a difficult position to answer. After the meeting ended, I couldn't help but recall what it was like when we first met. It was my father who had discovered John, a poor student, while doing field work in the mountains. Later, my husband and I went to handle the paperwork together. But our time together was short-lived. My husband and I grew apart, and eventually things escalated to divorce. It was at this critical moment that John suddenly called me. It turned out his grandfather had already passed away, and his uncle wanted him to go out and work, but John wanted to continue studying and was refused, so he reached out to my husband, who then pushed the responsibility onto me. I had no choice but to call my husband back, but he claimed that it was my father who had started this sponsorship in the first place. His irresponsibility caught me off guard. After we argued again, I called that number once more. To my surprise, John had already left, not wanting to ruin the child's future. I immediately got in my car and drove to Yunfeng village. With the help of the locals, I found my way to John's home. At that moment, John's uncle was pointing at him and scolding him. He had even dumped all of John's books on the ground. John couldn't take it anymore and wanted to fight back. But I stopped him just in time as I arrived. I told him I would bring him to the city to study. I said I had already contacted a lawyer to retrieve the money his grandfather had left in his bank account. If it would allow John to escape this situation, I wouldn't pursue the money, and I would even give him 30,000 yuan. When the uncle heard 30,000, he thought it was too little, and immediately demanded 50,000 instead. I immediately reached for my phone to call the lawyer. Only then did he decide to take the deal. I had originally planned to take John to my parents' house, but my mother suddenly called me, asking about my divorce from my husband. We ended up arguing about it over the phone. In the end, I had no choice but to take John back to my own place to stay.